What the fuck is a vole?
Anyway, Starving Artist Podcast, welcome back. You already know what it is.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno. It's been a little while. We'll address that soon just because we've been busy and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What was I just about to tell you on the pod?
Well, I
We
was
were
talking
talking
about
about-
how I've been bird watching.
Yeah, we were talking about nature. And I feel like there was something that I was going to say, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, before that we were talking about our kneecaps getting cancelled by the Tories for saying something about wanting to kill them or whatever.
Yeah, which, like, given the current climate, it's
Probably can't be doing it,
probably
fair.
not sound. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up this message that this error message that we received the other day so that I can refer to it soon. Carry on talking about kneecap.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit? Like, I don't like them neither, lads, but whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, like,
You know what I mean?
not to like jump into super deep stuff straight away, but it's like, you know how the Luigi guy who killed the CEO of the healthcare company
Yeah.
is like, you know,
Everyone's like, oh, I bet he's got abs or whatever.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, fucking good on him. It's like, I mean, yeah, like, we're not on the side of the healthcare companies, but also, like, don't kill a guy.
Innit?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still killed a guy. He's not sound
I did find all
either.
that very exciting when it happened, though, like, in a weird, horrible, like, Gotham City news effort. It felt like, you know what I mean? It felt like something from a comic book rather than real life because I don't live in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If it happened local, it would be really sad.
yeah,
But
well,
I feel detached from it because it feels like something that is like just, oh yeah, that's just fucking New York.
it must be weird if you live in New York that you're essentially at the center of the world. So any big thing that happens does happen like in your area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, because like loads of famous people live there. If someone like John Lennon's gonna get shot, it's probably gonna be New York.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a good chance you live nearby because all the buildings are fucking tall and loads of people live in them. You know what I mean?
I'd quite like to go to New York. I used to think that I'd be more of an LA guy, but the older I get, I think culturally, like, LA is quite vapid in it. It's like business. It's like show business. Whereas I think New York's got a bit more edge to it. And as we know, I'm an edgy
Colorado
guy.
man myself.
Oh yeah, well no, don't get me wrong. The ideal scenario is to live in, like, I don't know, fucking like Montana or like Oregon or some shit, like out of the way. I'd have a pickup truck and like a farm, and it'd be grand. I'd just sit around and make music all day and like pick up the eggs that me chickens had fucking hatched or whatever.
Yeah, we were just talking about how when I'm not living in the compound that I live in anymore, I'm gonna start doing a lot of gardening. I'd love to fucking keep animals like that, but ones where like I don't know, I won't want to kill my own animals. I'll happily buy sausages from the fucking thing. I'll just not have pigs. You know what I mean? But like a cow. Cows are adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they're a lot of effort though, and they do shit a lot.
Yeah.
Chickens would be sound though.
Yeah, chickens kind of you just
they lay eggs.
you just feed them and they chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're also like really, if you need to pick it up for anything, it's really docile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're hard to get hold of, but once you've got hold of it, it's just chilling. You seen that thing where like you pick a chicken up and you can move it around and its head stays still?
Yeah,
like a gimbal.
Like exactly like a gimbal. Yeah.
But I would like to have a little farm as well.
Wouldn't it be sick?
Yeah,
like, maybe that's the investment. We'll just get a joint farmstead.
Yeah. We can have it like a house at either end.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Grow some fucking. Don't know what can you grow in the UK? Mint.
Potatoes and wheat.
Grow some beige.
Grow some kind of grain.
Speaking of this is a very beige frame that we're looking at right now. I feel like we've this is the first time we've ever done a pod with the curtains open on account of like.
Surely not.
It is genuine because we're normally like all for the vibes and that, but we thought, you know what, it's hot, so we want to leave the window open, and also it's those 3 days of summer that we get every now and again.
Which is why we're talking about nature, I think.
Because we've been looking at
because we've been looking out of windows going, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. What I was going to say about the animals there now? Shit, like, have I told you about my ideal like pet setup?
No.
I want a Maine Coon and then one of them big Alaskan Malamutes.
What the fuck?
You know the Maine
I don't
Coon
know what
cats?
either of those things are.
The big massive ones that are dead fucking furry.
No,
but they still behave like normal cats. Yeah, Maine spelt with an E at the end.
Right.
And then
Like the state of Maine.
And then Coon with a thinking E on the end as well.
Beg your pardon.
Spelled unfortunately exactly how you'd think.
Oh, that's fucking massive.
Yeah, they're huge. I want one of them. And then I want like an Alaskan Malamute sort of like.
What's one of them?
Google it that.
Alaskan Malamute.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
One of them
Okay.
fuckers, big massive one of them fuckers. And then I found out recently that you can get spider monkeys
like a husky
as
looking
pets.
thing.
Getting onto Spider Monkey Lad, you can have him as a pet, apparently. According to YouTube.
I don't think. What? Nah,
I'm
mate.
desperate for one
No,
of them.
mate.
lad.
No.
I'm desperate for one of them.
I couldn't be having a fucking primate as a pet.
Yeah.
It's too much just like having a dude living in your house.
Exactly, I want a little furry dude. Because the thing is that like they're no smarter than like the smartest ones of them are as smart as like a 2-year-old.
Smart as like you.
Yeah, exactly. Because them and like I don't know, capuchins feel a little bit aggressive to me, and them other ones, what are they called?
Don't know, but put the mic close to your mouth.
Okay. Not like, are they marmosets?
I don't know. You just pull it out with random ass animals. You've got your knowledge of things sometimes really surprises me. It's like you're
so smart.
Your vocab is like beyond what I would imagine.
Because when I'm at home, all I do is sit there and like learn about stuff like the whole time. I do, like it's how I entertain myself. Is like, oh, what's something that I don't already know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you drop words sometimes, and I'm like, I sort of know what that means, but I wouldn't have expected you to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because like I act retarded.
I was gonna say,
funny,
but then equally, you're like the most witness man ever. Like when we were in fucking Berlin, we met this Ukrainian refugee girl who was about our age.
At the start of the war as well. The most like
this was like 2022.
She was there with a fucking dog.
She'd fled with a little dog, and it was crazy because like you think refugees and like. When we see refugees, it's like war-torn Syrian refugees. This was just like a woman who'd got on a plane and left the country. She just looked like a normal woman. She was about our age. She had her dog with her.
And a suitcase. Fresh off the plane.
Yeah. So, and she started talking to us, I think, because she fucking saw these two smoking bifters and she was like, oh, do you know where we can get weed? and then where we can get weed is if, like, where can I and my dog get weed? She's like,
I want to feed it to the dog.
Do you know where I can get weed? And her English wasn't good. So she was, like, trying her best. And then we were like, oh, where are you from? And she was like, oh, the Ukraine. And he said, oh, yeah, heavy scenes over your way at the minute. Like, how is she going to fucking know what that means?
It's just sat there and went, what? And I was like, it's very bad. Yeah. I don't know, because I can't really code switch. I am who I am.
Yeah,
you
are. Unapologetically, and that's, you know, there's value in that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I've said before that you're a social grenade, and it's fun to like put you into put you into a social situation, and like sometimes I'm also gonna get caught in the explosion. But you have a good time doing it. You know what I mean?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm like a grenade with sometimes confetti inside, and sometimes just like pig cum.
Pig cum.
Yeah. It could be the one. You never know.
When the fuck you pull that?
Oh, because sometimes it goes down like a fucking lead balloon, doesn't it? Sometimes
it
like,
goes down like a grenade of pig cum.
You know what I mean? That'd be terrible. You'd be really unhappy. If that happened, and I feel like there have been times where my personality has made people unhappy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes it comes across it well because I say things like a grenade full of pig cum. That's why I'm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ironically so. I'm just going to check that we're actually fucking recording just because I had a bit of fear. But let me explain as well to the lovely people watching. How do I get out of this? The lovely people watching what happened to the last episode. Because if you watched it on the YouTube version, you'll know that it was not a video podcast. It was just an audio podcast that I spliced some footage of us just fucking around in the studio over the top of. Because I basically didn't edit it straight away, and then 2 weeks later, I needed room on the SD card
so you deleted
for us to film more stuff. And I thought, oh yeah, I've
surely I put that on the computer.
I was like, I know I've not edited it, but it's on the computer, right? And I just hadn't transferred it anywhere. So that's my bad. And that's a shame because there was some good clippable stories in that podcast.
Grim.
That I, at some point, will go back and try and make like cut out PNG edits of like me and you talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's happened recently, right? I want to talk about you finishing uni, but that's a big topic. So we'll get into that in a sec. Just Strangers wise, obviously the re-releases have been coming out. By the time this pod drops, the final one will be out, which is the demo tape EP, which is our first EP from like 2018. However, it's not actually going to be called the demo tape EP.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some beef with streaming services.
But we don't have beef with whatever intern wrote this message to us. I want to get that out there. Whoever wrote this was actually very sweet about it, but tell your boss to go fuck themselves, basically.
So let me explain. For people that don't know, right, when you are an artist and you want to upload your stuff to like Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and all that lot, you basically do it through a centralized distributor that sends it to all of those places. You don't like upload it individually. So I went through the other morning, I uploaded all the songs to, we use DistroKid, who have been fine up until now, you know what I mean? Like they've always worked for us or whatever. I uploaded all the songs, put in all the credits and all the info, uploaded the artwork and all this lot. Got to the very last bit and hit like send, essentially. And I got this message that says, validation error. Sorry, stores don't allow the phrase demo tape in song or album titles. They probably figure a digital download isn't technically a tape, so it doesn't make sense. We think it's creative and should be allowed, but alas, we don't make the rules. Sorry. I was like, are you having a fucking laugh?
Still have it, yeah.
It's called the demo tape. It's been called the demo tape.
Just a name, innit?
Like,
I get why, because people would overuse it, but at the same time,
I don't get why.
Let them then, you know what I mean?
Like,
the shit will get lost in the mix.
Who's asked? Like, I'd be annoyed about it if, like, because, you know, we have conversations now about, like, what we're going to call stuff and how we're going to present things and, like, so if
the reason it was called
that
that is because that's what we intended it to be
that's
at the time.
What it was, yeah.
And
like,
now it's like the beginning of our whole discography.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was us finding our feet as a demonstration of what we were at the time.
It was called the demo tape essentially because we recorded it because we needed stuff to send to promoters so we could get booked for gigs. You know what I mean? And it was like our demo that we would send out, and I'd be annoyed if we'd have like sat now for like an hour and worked out what it should be called and then got that message. But I'm actually slightly more annoyed that this came out originally 7 years ago.
and it was allowed.
And it was fine then, you know what I mean? Like, it was on streaming services 7 years ago.
What is the problem with it? It was a set of demos and is a set of demos. So the demo bit is fine. Because that is what it is and was at the time.
Yeah.
The tape bit, all right then. Yeah, it's not a physical tape, except at the time, actually, I'm pretty sure, yes, there was a copy of one of the fucking songs off it on a physical cassette tape. So go fuck yourself on that one as well.
So,
like, no, because what if we had an album that what if we centered the whole aesthetic around this, like, analog fucking, like, style and all this, and we were like, and we're gonna call it something like, something to do with, like, cassette tape or, like, you know, the fucking old tape recording type, you know what I mean? Say it's got loads of sounds on it that are us using physical magnetic tapes to do fucking time delay shit, and we called it something like that, and you're gonna go, but you've not released it on Spotify as a physical tape, so you're not allowed to call it tape-related shit. Like, fuck you. Yeah. I'll call it what I fucking want. It's my art. Well, you know what I mean?
Or if we'd have made, let's say, a fucking mixtape and called it Midnight Drive-In that had a load of tape sound effects in.
And let's say we've done something where we then released that very fucking recently and called it a mixtape and it's been like, fine. You know what I mean?
Because like I eventually got rid of, because when the mixtape Midnight Drive-In first came out, it was Midnight Drive-In brackets mixtape was the title, right? So then when we re-uploaded it, I did that, but then I was like, we don't really need the brackets. Fuck it. It is what it is. Right. So I got rid of the brackets. So now on streaming service, it's just called Midnight Driving. But that was a month ago. So up until a month ago, you could write the words mixtape in a title, but now you can't write the words demo tape. And also, like, regardless of your reasoning why, let me call it what I fucking want to call it.
It's mine.
It's my, like,
it's ours.
We made it. Like, let us, you know what I mean? I'll call it fuck you Spotify if I want to, and you'll deal with it. It's my
You'll sit
art.
there and like it.
Yeah.
I've seen way worse named shit on Spotify. Ram Ranch is on Spotify. Ram Ranch is on fucking Spotify. And you're going to tell me I can't have demo tape. But you're going to tell me, oh, it's really creative and we think that you should have it, but you can't.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Having that, I'm fuming. I'm furious.
Yeah.
Like, I was saying that if it wasn't for the fucking artwork being so nice, we should have taken that validation error message and put that as the album artwork. Because how dare they? But it'd make it that on everything.
Yeah, but it's not just Spotify that's done this.
Okay,
It's
is
like,
it not? Is it all of them?
So the message.
Oh, go ahead then. I rescind my comments about Spotify. Yous have actually been quite sound to us. You're where we get most of our money. You know,
well, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I don't know nothing about this. Go fuck yourself, all you. I'm trying to unlitigate us a little bit.
Fuck Spotify. But so this message is from DistroKid, right? But they're saying.
Let me read it in a sarcastic voice.
They're saying that we don't make the rules. So they've clearly got something. They've been given stuff from streaming services like Apple Music or Spotify that says, "Hey, don't allow this for X, Y, and Z reasons."
I mean, this does happen in business. Legally, you're not allowed to send emails. Well, not legally. It goes straight to spam if in the header it's got something to do with the word free or something to do with the word like Viagra or like dick pills. That's a genuine thing.
Right.
Honest to God, we learned that on my fucking degree. That's real. But so sorry. Stores don't allow the phrase demo tape in a song or album title. They probably figure a digital download isn't technically a tape, so it doesn't make sense. We think it's creative and should be allowed, but alas, we don't make the rules. Sorry.
Also, there's a
fuck
There's
yourself.
a spelling error in that as well.
I know this has been written by a human being, and I just want to go on record as saying, sound for telling us like, oh, listen, I wish that you could genuinely have that. Whoever it is that's wrote that, I have no beef with whatsoever. But your bosses and your bosses' bosses, they can all fucking sling one.
I'm gonna tag DistroKid in this, and I'll tag Spotify in it.
Yeah, we'll tag everyone.
See what you've all got to say for yourselves.
Yeah, I want an apology in writing. Motherfucker, you know what I mean? Do me like that.
So anyway,
charger for this?
Not right now.
Sound all right.
Our debut EP, Strangers, as it's now called, self-titled.
Well, I was going to talk to you about something to do with that actually just after this.
Well, quickly. I mean, we can do it on the. If you want to, we can.
I mean, maybe
peek behind the curtain, show how the sausage is made.
Go out. Well, I was going to say, since it used to be called the demo tape, and it was demos and is demos, and we've got the collection. What if we called it the demonstration? And then we've got one in the middle. The next one can be called something, Midnight Driving name-esque. Not like that, but just whatever the fuck we want. And then the next one where it's a load of... Again, the collection is a collection of demos that we've done over the years.
Yeah.
We could alternate doing and then here's a bit of an info.
Yes,
I'd be willing. A nice thing.
I'd be willing to consider that.
Yeah, we can also have a more in-depth discussion about it later. But it's,
Just for anyone who's not actually heard it, they're not like demos as in the sense of
it's not like they're bad. They're good.
But at the time
it
we
was
were just
how
like...
we demonstrated to promoters
They're like properly recorded and mixed and mastered, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, John will put a lot of effort into making them sound nice.
I bet.
Yeah, don't want to like demean that, but... They were just like,
they are good.
Yeah, because at the time we didn't like release it with any grand fanfare. We were just like, oh, we'll stick them on.
When
Spotify
we took them down, people asked me why they were gone.
For the demo tape, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. There's also a bonus track on there, which I would consider a demo.
Worse than a demo. It's from before we were even strangers. We had a different name.
Yeah, it's the first iteration of mine and Sean working together. And you can listen to it if you want, or you could not. But it's there for the canon as much as anything else. You know what I mean? What else has been going on? I did a gig the other day. in Sefton Palm House. I don't know if you've been to Sefton Palm House.
Shit, really?
Yeah, just the big fucking greenhouse. First of all, it was a wedding. I've decided that I love Sefton Park, right? I think me and Abby would like to live close to the city centre, and we'll do for like a year, and then we'll move out towards Sefton Park because it's so fucking nice around there.
Sefton Park is extreme.
Like I did, I don't know if we've done a pod since this. I was an extra in a Netflix show that shot at Sefton Park like a few weeks ago, and I just basically spent all day like just walking up and down a path and like sitting on a bench in the background of scenes, and I was like, this is lovely. I love it here. Like it's like the park at near my house.
How do you get that type of work? Maybe I'll just start doing that now.
Well, you know what you should do next? I'll keep an eye out next time because I'm with like an agency for it. So next time the agency's like taking people on, you should apply for it because it's a piece of piss. You just need some pictures of yourself. But you've got pictures of yourself because I used the ones from our photo shoot for me. So you can just use them as well.
What if we signed up as a double active extras? No one's ever done it before. That's art. We're doing high art.
We'll play music in the background. Yeah.
We'll be the fucking Reeves and Mortimer of being extras and shit. The Anton Deck of being extras.
Yeah. But yeah, so the gig, first of all, like, big greenhouse is my aesthetic.
It's so nice in there.
And, like, especially when it was at night then, and it was like, I'll show you some pictures. It was at night, and there was, like, purple and pink lighting going on. Like, I remember when I was leaving after the gig, I turned around and looked at the greenhouse, and it was, like, lit up all, like, pink and stuff inside with all the plants. I was like, this is fucking dope. It was a lesbian wedding.
Oh.
They know how to party, you know what I mean? So that's like on stage, like cool lighting and stuff behind us, all like plants and that. They had a big cutout of their dog in front of the stage.
What was your set list? Did you change it at all for the lesbian theme?
They asked us to not play the Killers medley that we do, which I don't know if it's just because they don't like the Killers or they don't like Mr. Brightside, or maybe because he's a Mormon. I don't know what the crack is there.
Yeah.
But either way, that was like that was super dope. I learned a lesson though. The one of the brides came up to me afterwards and was like, she gave me a card. She was like, "Oh, thanks for playing." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much for having us." And then we went to the little like backstage bit, and I opened this card, and there was money in it, like a tip for us. I was like, "Oh, boys, like, got a tip here," and I was just so excited that I just like handed out this like extra tenner each or whatever, and kind of discarded the card. And then when I was packing up, I just chucked the card in my bag or whatever, and I put the tenner in my pocket, right? But it was the same pocket that I keep my phone in. So at some point then, in like packing the stuff away and leaving and like getting out, I've pulled my phone out of my pocket and the tenner's come out. So I got home and was like, "Oh fuck, that tenner? What did I do with that tenner?" I was like, "Oh shit." I messaged the boys, was like, "Did anyone pick up my tenner by chance?" Like, nah, no one's got it. Lost the tip. Was left with the card, right? So I read the card and there was a nice little message. "Thank you very much for making it such a special event," and stuff like this. I was like, "Oh, that's actually quite sweet." You know what I mean? I was like, that's the thing of value in this. You know what I mean?
Do you believe that the universe does lessons like that on purpose, or do you believe that it's all just make-believe? Let's just get into it. We're far enough into this podcast. It's not about art anymore. We talk about whatever the fuck we want.
I don't believe that, like...
Because sometimes things like this feel like, you know how there's like stories of like, you know, like, how do I explain this? You know, like in a Greek tragedy, how it's always kind of, and the person doesn't get the thing they wanted, but the thing they get is the thing that they should have had the whole time. Right. Thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It do be like that. Is that just incredible observation by humans over time, is that? Like,
I think it is, because
I suppose it is to do with that. Actually,
it's just the way that the fucking universe works, right? And I've had conversations like this with Jamie.
That's the thing, though. What do we mean by that? Is it doing it? Like, is it a purposeful? Like, is there a kind of?
No, it's like sometimes it just do be like that. You know what I mean?
Just do be like that repeatedly.
Yeah. Because, well, yeah.
Everything always seems like some sort of ironic coincidence that everything leads on. But then I suppose, is that just our human brains putting it together?
Yeah,
Like,
because think about the amount of times that it isn't like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like 9 out of 10 times, you wouldn't lose the tenner. Like the chances of me dropping the tenner and not finding it again are slim compared to the fact that most of the time, if someone gives you something and says, "Yeah, I'll keep hold of this," you don't lose it. You know what I mean? But I've had conversations with Jamie about this because, like, our boy Jamie, who used to be in the band, is very religious and he believes in God and stuff.
He just said that's God telling you that.
Yeah, well, exactly. But
you didn't need the money anyway. All you needed was the emotional reward. And that's why the emotional reward is a gift for giving out the money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But what I believe is that, like, God is just a metaphor, like the nature of things. You know what I mean? So if you look at
like the Tao,
well, if you look at a lot of like Bible stories, it's just pointing out that, like, oh, if you do this, this kind of thing happens to you, right? And in Bible terms, it's put as like God smites you, but really it's just if you do this kind of thing, generally bad ways will befall you because it's a bad way to live your life in the universe.
Yeah, like consequences do still exist, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The things that you do will eventually like bite you in the ass.
Well, yeah, and like because people think about karma, right, as like if I called you a cunt and then like walked outside and got hit by a bus, you'd be like, oh, karma. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But karma in the Buddhist sense essentially just means that, like, again, it's like breaking it down to just the way the universe works. So if I was horrible to you, that would be negative to my life because...
Well, like, you're reinforcing a lesson to yourself that it's okay to be horrible to people, which eventually will backfire because it's not actually all right.
And if it doesn't backfire with you, it'll backfire with someone else, you know what I mean? Like, I'm horrible to someone at work. They tell everyone that I'm a prick. I've got no friends. I'm miserable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did a bad thing and it leads to my downfall.
Yeah. But then if you do good things all the time, it will lead to you...
Exactly. Well, like...
Up and up.
You know, it's
if everyone likes you, it's just easier.
Yeah, it is. And I think the direction in which you aim consciously is very important with shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you...
I don't know if I'm still in the frame.
You've got to live with intention. You know?
Oh, I'm getting a bit of a wedgie, speaking of which. Live with intention, undo your wedgie. Don't let it just happen.
Do you want to, speaking about living with intention, you've been living with a very specific intention recently. Do you want to talk about university?
Yeah, I've finished university, not got my grades back yet, my final ones, but I think I've done quite well. Done all right. I'm expecting a 2-1.
I was saying to Abby the other day that you're actually really good academically.
I am quite good at it, yeah. I've been, like, there's been a couple of weird assignments that have thrown me. There's been a hell of a lot of group work, which has been...
Frustrating,
complicated sometimes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm quite good at that type of shit. Like, we did a music technology course in college.
And you did better than me.
I did incredibly well. I nearly got like 100% on the fucking thing. It was ridiculous. Like, and like, I was like on the fucking only adverts for like the college for a couple of years and shit. Like, it was. So I am alright at like that kind of thing. But then, I don't know. I'm like, I've sort of only just come out of that bubble in the past 2 days at time of recording.
Mm-hmm.
I've just come out of that bubble, so I'm going to take a minute to like enjoy the sunlight. Because also, you do feel, at the end of like the big project, at the end of uni, you do feel like you've had the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of fucking stupid late nights that end up happening. Like, some of these assignments have gone in at 6 o'clock in the morning after 3 days of consistent fucking, like, no sleep, apart from a quick 4 hours. Oh yeah, it's 4 in the morning. I should probably go to bed. I'll wake up at 8. And I'll keep on going. You know what I mean? So at the end of that, you do just want to sort of take a minute to go. Right, let's breathe. But also, I have been actively trying to get involved in the professional wrestling industry that I've been talking about sometimes on this podcast. I'm a big fan of it, and I have been since I was like 3.
Yeah, we actually...
I don't know. I think there's marketing opportunity. As a digital marketer, I think that it's like kind of rife
Yeah,
area. A lot of improvements.
We actually, so I've mentioned in the past couple of episodes that we're going to start. Sean drops his bine again. I've mentioned in the past couple of episodes that we're going to start doing like bonus eps where we just like set the camera up and chat.
We're going to be doing a bit more of this as well while I've got a bit of time.
Yeah, we actually, so hopefully these will be a bit more regular than they have been.
Yeah.
We
back in the world, maybe gigs on the horizon.
Oh fuck yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yes, gigs. Yeah. Yes. All right. So
I'm back in the game.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But we did film one of these like bonus episodes, but like afterwards I said to Sean, hey, I don't think we should put that out because you've talked a lot about the like plans you have for the wrestling shit in that when we filmed that, and I was like, you don't want people to take these ideas because you're actually onto something here.
Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas swilling about. I've got some work experience coming up that I'm really excited to do. None of it paid though, so I've been trying to think of ways that I can make money off it. That I'm not going to talk about here because that's mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting because I think during the course of uni, like some bits of the job have been, well, not job, but some bits of the work have been really fucking just draining and challenging and not interesting. And some bits have been, like, for me, very exciting. Yeah. For some reason, I love making graphs. I make so many graphs when I do it. Lad, for this fucking report, I made like a document that was about fucking, it must have been about 70 pages, lad, of just graphs.
That's crazy.
Like, I get weird with it, you know what I mean? But like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. It's some of it was really exciting, some of it was really not, and I think it's important when picking like a career path in an industry to pick something that you're asked about because otherwise it's terrible. Like I could sit there and do spreadsheets for a wrestling company happily, but I couldn't do it for a bread company.
Yeah.
And I've learned that by just the nature of the assignments in uni. They could give us the same assignment twice. One of them's for a fucking construction company doing their website, and another one's for like a boxing company doing their website. And it's like, oh, one of these is just more interesting than the other, even though it's the same thing, innit?
Right.
I'm just doing SEO, but it's words that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for some reason that fucking matters. We did this presentation about bread and it made me want to die. But like, when I was doing me fucking website for Hitting Mittens, which by the way, I will show you that fucking report at some point.
Right.
Lad, I'm so good at like graphic design now, you know? Like, I don't know. It's exciting. I've got a lot of options, but it's one of them of deciding what it is that I want to do.
Yeah,
you know
and
I mean?
think like some of the stuff you were detailing about the wrestling stuff, and also the way that industry's set up at the minute in this country is like you can. That's like a long-term thing that you can work towards, like as well as you can just get a job to get you by digital marketing wise, and then also the fact that you're doing that all the time will then help optimize the stuff that you want to do for the wrestling as well, because you'll be working in that field. You know what I mean? Even though it's a different
I've
like
been
company.
weighing up. Do I go full-time working and then in evenings and weekends do music and wrestling stuff, or do I carry on with the jobs that I've got that pay me kind of enough now that I've had a bit of a pay rise, to be honest?
Right.
And do I like throw myself full-time at the creative and endeavours that I'm after getting involved in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a Jamie paradox. Do I become a car salesman or do I fucking drum? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was chatting to Heather about it the other day, and I'm thinking I'll probably stay on the schedule I'm on for a bit, do a little bit of work towards all that stuff, get myself a car, get myself driving, and then at that point get myself working at a full-time job where I've got a bit more range, and then wait for the other stuff to kind of grow to a point where I can over to it, you know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know. That's the thing. I actually don't need to fucking think about it.
Say like
it's not even on the
either way,
grades.
yeah, you can
So,
just have
like,
the fucking
fully-
summer off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna not even worry about it. And I know the trajectory that I'm after ultimately. I know what my ultimate goals are. So as long as you got your big fucking goals, you just figure out, you just break that down into smaller chunks, innit?
Yeah.
We'll come up with a business plan for us as well. It's about goddamn time.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's
Like
You
a
s-
proper one, because that's the thing. I'm at the end of the degree now, and I've done it for another company. I
Yeah.
know exactly how to do that now.
You
At the
said
start of all uni, I didn't know all of the different bits. You know what I mean?
you said
So,
at the start of the
kinda-
year that you'd be game to start gigging once you'd finish uni.
Yeah, man.
So really, what we need to do is come up with a plan of like how we're gonna split our time now and stick to that plan, because like I think for the
That's
past
thing.
few months,
If I can
'cause we-
be immersed in a couple of gig economies that pay here and pay there and pay all over the shop,
Yeah.
eventually you've got your dough, haven't you?
yeah, this is where I'm at. Man.
You're selling your time no matter what. I could sell me time 9 to 5, Monday to Friday to the same place, or I could sell my time every day to a different place.
Yeah,
It don't matter.
yeah,
As long as you're getting paid the same.
yeah. So I
Just change your hourly rate to a day rate, innit?
yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
Well,
Don't
we-
charge me 30. I'm not charging 13 an hour. Give me 200 quid for the day. Douche.
what we need to
Do
do
that every day. You're flush in this country.
It's-
State of things.
what we need to do is work out a schedule and stick to it, because I think the past few months we've just been floating, like doing a pod here and there, doing like working on the fucking new album and stuff, like working on re-releases or like the collection deluxe.
Yeah, lads. For this last assignment that I did, I increased this company's fucking social media output by, I think it was 2,000%
Yeah.
by shooting like just basically like fucking 12 videos that are like 20 minutes each.
Mhm.
I'll just grip us that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
we also need to not do what we did last time.
Yeah, innit, that. But like, I don't know. We can figure it out. Yeah, we're gonna be getting on it because we got loads of fucking
Yeah.
time on our hands.
We're gonna be rehearsing for shows. There's
yeah,
gonna be
loads of
shows.
fresh
There's
knowledge that's still
gonna be
relevant.
shows this summer, right?
There's gonna be.
I
something.
guarantee you.
There's gonna be something.
And I've said that there's gonna be shows this summer. But
We're on it now.
if there's, I'm playing Strangers shows this summer, right?
Yeah,
You can
and
be
I
there or
probably
not,
will
right?
as well.
But I'm playing Strangers shows this summer.
I'll probably be there. Yeah.
And I think the good thing now is as well, we can maybe reduce how complicated the setup and the set needs to be a little bit,
Yeah.
because we can incorporate some older songs back into the set.
Yeah.
Thus, like, meaning that we don't have to do as much fuckery with keyboards, right?
Yeah.
If we stick a fucking Nocturnal and a Big Sleep in there, it
Yeah,
means that
that's
we
true.
don't have to like fanny about playing Boy. You know what I mean? Which is like hard.
Do you know what? Yeah, there's certain songs in there that I don't think even need playing live. I think they're just album songs.
Yeah,
Sometimes that happens, and that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, and
We can build the mega set.
Yeah, and now
That's
we've got so much to choose from,
Yeah.
material wise. So it's gonna be cool. So maybe
We out here.
next session we'll fucking start getting on that. Eh? Maybe next session we should, or even this session we should plan like what we think a cool set list would be, and then put that into motion.
We need to finish off the stuff that's going to be on the
Collection
deluxe. We need to
That's a me thing as much as anything. I need to get my
We
mic
need
fixed.
to
I can't record
then
vocals until.
move on to like writing and recording the new stuff that we're working on
Mhm.
and practicing for the live set, and we'll
Yeah.
dual wield them for a while.
And all of that is going to be dope. And
It's gonna be
we'll
sick.
still.
I'm excited.
And we'll still keep doing pods on the reg.
Yeah.
So that,
Probably more often, because at the start of any session we can just dedicate a bit of time to it.
yeah. And you'll have the bonus episodes of us working in the studio and just hanging out and stuff.
Yeah. Just content output in it.
Yeah.
Volume.
So
That's the name of the game.
come on.
Volume. Yeah, we're back on that.
Come on, yeah, but like quality volume this
Quality
time. You know what I
volume.
mean, rather than just like junk volume, rather than like
Volume.
fluff sets. You know what I mean? I feel like we were doing reps of the 2 kilogram weights before. Like, you're not gonna get massive off it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I just got to 12 and it was easy. I'm sick of this. Yeah.
Right, that's podcast. We'll leave it there. I think we've discussed some cool shit. Just
Yeah.
update everyone on what's going on in life.
Thank you to whoever wrote us that lovely little validation error message.
Yeah,
Your sound.
shout
Your
out to
bosses
Disco
can go
Kid.
fuck themselves though.
got a nice clip out of that.
Yeah, in a bit.
That'll be on TikTok. Right. Well, this has been Starving Nights podcast. Not that hungry at the minute, but
yeah, I mean,
we.
you should try and stay a little bit hungry.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We're hungry for new things. We're not so much physically hungry anymore. But now the
Yeah.
world has been open to us that we can like work on new shit and like do live shows and stuff. I feel invigorated already just at the mention of it. You know?
Yeah, greener pastures.
Yeah, might play a gig in a greenhouse one day. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Maybe. I might play a gig.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a bit.
Yeah.